welcome to Big Sky Bits. I'm Colby, I'm your host, and today we're going to be getting over some of the recent topics that have been affecting Bitcoin in the markets and just our society in general. So thank you for stopping by. I'd also appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, send me a message. This one goes out to Tom, Nick, and Aaron. I really appreciate the people that are starting to stop by, watch the shows, subscribe. Thank you all. It means a lot, and hopefully I can get this message out to the world about decentralization and what Bitcoin can do to change our incentive structures. So let's get into the news. First, if you haven't already, go back and look at some of the older episodes. You can go to the website, Big Sky Bits. Right there, we got quite a few different things going on. And to start the day, we'll come over here and check out the price. Bitcoin's been on a really great rip lately. As we look over at CoinGecko, you see the price just shooting up, especially on the 24-hour chart. We've had a nice little spike in the last day, trending above a lot of the resistance that's been holding us for at least the last month. So as we look at this, it looks positive for Bitcoin. And I think if price is to give an indicator, which it does give an indicator as to where the markets and market sentiment are, I think it's looking pretty positive at this point. Now, with that being said, that would get us into one of the other topics I wanted to stop by. And though I use sites like CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, these Bitcoin dominance numbers, as you can see right here, they have Bitcoin dominance at 51.6% and Ethereum at 16.5%. And you see the overall market reliance on either Bitcoin or, more importantly, you'll see a lot of stable coins garnering a huge percentage of the dominance of the whole crypto market. Now, where I would argue against this is how easy it is to dilute these systems. And by that, I mean, with every meme coin that comes along or every shit coin that has a trillion different coins that they value at a fraction of a cent and then get their coin up to 100 million, 500 million, whatever it is, all these dilute, and these sites like CoinGecko are incentivized to allow more and more coins onto there because often they charge a fee or allow someone, and the vetting process is very limited. Now, I'm sure they do some limiting, but this is how they make their money. So they're incentivized, again, to have as many shitcoins join the race. So that's a little tangent. We'll get back to the real news. And the real news isn't even going to be on my websites. I didn't bring anything up. It's more about what I observed over the last couple days. And with Trump's assassination attempt, I think that it really shows some of the chaotic place where our society is and how people are struggling to deal with some of the uncertainties. And all I can say with this, and especially with regards to Bitcoin, because I believe it is a major paradigm shift in the way we do business, the way we live our lives, the way we'll store data, I think we're just at the tip of the iceberg. I think we're in for some rough times, but it's only going to get better. We have to revolutionize this system. What we're doing is not helping the average person. It's not showing or keeping work true to the wealth or the wages it generates. There's definitely these Cantillon effects that show the closer you are to easy loans or easy money printing, the easier it is to manipulate that money. And we need to stop some of these practices. We need to look at everyone in terms of this world we live in is for everyone. So I think Trump's assassination really should be an attempt or his assassination attempt should be a catalyst to bring us closer together. And for what I've seen in the general public, that is true. I've seen a few people wish horrible things and say horrible things, but I think we need to realize that this is an attack on democracy. And even though I have some issues with democracy and its flawedness, our republic, even an attack on the republic, this is an attack on our society, how we have deemed, or where we're at currently in society, how this attack illustrates people's willingness to circumvent our social requirements or our standards that we have. So I really think we should look at this and hopefully put our powers together to make this less of an issue and less of a divide among people, and use this as an opportunity to bring ourselves together. Sorry, I wanted to plug that in real quick. I don't know, do anything. And on that note, I also want to encourage people. I keep putting up this bouncing QR code. Oh, you got let's see here. I'm going to restart it. I keep putting up this bouncing QR code, and right here is just one that goes to the website. But there's other QR codes that you'll see bouncing throughout videos. I want people to go find these and go take the money off. I've had one person empty a wallet. I'll probably do a tutorial on how to empty these wallets in the future, but for now, people should be able to do some research and figure it out. This leads to the website. There's other ones you'll see pop up. So as we get going through this, I want to really look at the influence Bitcoin can have and where our political system can benefit from this, because this divide in America is not helping us. This divide amongst countries is not helping us. This is only enriching people that thrive off the detriment of human life. And we can fix this. We want to fix this. I think it is the future. I mean, I believe humans are good, but constantly it's a battle of 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And could we be in that step back? 100%. So still in line with the Trump news, going from the assassination to some of the comments he's made. Now, people are speculating that he could see or has entertained the idea of Bitcoin as a reserve currency for the US dollar. Now, this holds some fascinating implications, and I've thought of this for a long time, and I never thought Donald Trump would be the person to bring it forth to the national stage, but here we are. And I don't know, it's most likely someone in his cabinet or close personal circle that's advising him on this, because I don't believe that Donald Trump actually knows all that much about Bitcoin. I'm sure he's doing some research, but you got a lot on your plate at this point, and it's really running more of a campaign and a popularity contest. But I digress. When we look at what the implications of Bitcoin being a reserve currency for the US dollar, I mean, we'll just briefly talk on some of the topics right now, but you could imagine in a world where we already have a ton of debt. The US is able to print away dollars to buy Bitcoin that becomes the reserve currency, thus lowering our debt, but creating a financial stable or a foothold in the new economy that's getting worldwide adoption with Bitcoin and can't be sanctioned. I mean, they will try, but there's ways to circumvent that already. It's just a harder form of money. So it's interesting to see what the implications could be. You would probably still be able to inflate the US dollar. I don't know if there would be a peg or how that would work, but it could just be like a gold reserve, perhaps. It's an interesting concept, and there's many layers. you'd need many more details before we could even hypothesize where this could go. And this is a good topic. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. I also encourage everyone, please go read the Bitcoin white paper. It's an amazing read, and it might be a little technical at places, but it really will help you understand what Bitcoin's meant to be. And then if you're into some of the moral or ethical points, which is really what I want to emphasize on this, Jimmy Song's a great author, and there's a couple different authors with like Robert Breedlove, and here's their names. Boom. But thank God for Bitcoin. Another book that shows quite a bit of the moral side and what Bitcoin could possibly do for us as humans. And then I also have enjoyed Bitcoin Clarity. Boom. By Kiera Bickers. I butcher names all the time, but another great book on really understanding the complexities of Bitcoin. I encourage people to get out there and read some of this, get some knowledge, come back with questions, and hopefully we can further this discussion on how we can decentralize the world. And I think some of the political talks are aiding in that. Moving on, one thing that's really upset me and why I think Bitcoin works so well is because of its incentive system. It incentivizes people to do better things for their community, better things for themselves. We're not trusting, we're verifying. We're creating a system that has proof and isn't as open to manipulation. So on that note, when I look at some of our capital gains system, we look at how in the US, short-term investments can be taxed heavily under the capital gains system. And my belief on this is it's an improper incentive system. A lot of other countries look at it, if you worked hard and decided to invest your money back in local companies to help grow our economy and society, why would we tax you at a higher rate? We have some flawed thinking in the US, and we really need to approach some of these taxes and the way we're hindering growth. We need to push people to be better people. I'm not even very religious, but my favorite religious example is the whole Jesus with the fish, that you'd rather teach them how to fish than just give them a fish. And we need to take that message to heart, that we can teach one another how to be self-sufficient, how to help build homes together, how to live in a society as humans. And I think some of the specialization that has occurred in our society really is what has created this lack of empathy for other jobs and abilities. So again, that's another topic for later, and how we can progress beyond this. But I hope we can start to change our incentive structures to help Americans want to be better citizens. I really believe we all want to be in a better place, but we need to have this mutual respect for each other. And that comes by respecting fundamental rights. So we went over that. One of the most exciting things I've seen in my real day-to-day life recently, and I have been trying to gamble a little less. I've had a few good wins. In fact, had a nice no limit hold'em $30 buy-in tournament that I took down first last night. So that was a good little win. And poker's been doing all right, but a lot of the gaming sites have slowly been adding Lightning Network integration, which I think is wonderful. I need to set up some of the wallet to use theirs. I really haven't had a need to deposit too much recently, so that's good. But I do want to show my love for them adopting some of these systems and use it. I have no problem sending out small sats to get them back, to gamble a little, to purchase some small trinkets here or there. I think this is good to keep the ecosystem alive. I hope we keep pushing the system and more merchants adopt it, but I understand that that's a super slow process and it'll probably come out in waves with especially legislation in the political talk. So when we look over the Bitcoin ecosystem, we see that it is constantly evolving. And with that, I just want us to look at it and how we can evolve. And my son sent me some information on one of the companies I had met with, God, must have been at least 4 or 5 years ago at one of the Bitcoin conferences. I think it was in Miami. DCX is a site, and I hope I see them again in Nashville and maybe I can get some more clarity. But now it looks like they're selling smaller enclosures that have a heat exchanger. So the dielectric fluid that you're using to cool your miners, that heat can then be transferred and used to heat, hopefully, your house. I mean, right here, they're saying heat a swimming pool or home. I know quite a few people have used them in California to heat swimming pools. By quite a few, maybe a dozen. If I don't know any numbers on this, I would love to get some of that information, and hopefully when we're in Nashville, we can. We'll see how much of an update I'm going to be able to give you while I'm down there. But this is some of the technology that I believe is going to transform. This essentially, with radiant floor heating, we will be able to turn your house into a giant heat sink for a computer that supports a financial system, the Bitcoin network. With that system, we can also transfer data. So down the line, I believe, and I want to foster a community that believes we can start sending packets of information, decentralizing the entire internet. And you're already seeing some of this done through systems like Nostra and Nostra. And I'm still working on setting my account up there. There's some interesting things we'll be going over in the next video about that. But companies like this, DCX, are doing amazing work on bringing this mainstream, and the prices don't look bad. So I'm going to have to do some research. We'll see what they're like when we're down in Nashville. These are some big fans for traditional mining solutions. So it looks like to remove the heat. I was thinking to remove the heat, just run it through the building, and maybe even in the summertime it goes through the driveway, or just grounding wires deep into the ground. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to know other people's ideas on this. If it's a stupid system, if the whole thing won't work for whatever reason, let me know. I want to start these discussions. If it will work, let me know. So I think that's amazing. If we as a community can really look at some of the solutions on decentralizing our communications, our power. I mean, I keep seeing issues about our power grid, and if we can decentralize this, we're all in a safer place from foreign actors or bad actors, because I believe that we should start to work as a one world. No one wants to live in a world where your neighbor is struggling and suffering and might do something out of desperation. So let's try to build this better world. Also going on, we'll look over at the meme pool. Bitcoin transactions still relatively low. It looks like a tiny increase from this last couple days, but that's to be expected as the price starts to skyrocket, and as we saw, the price was going up. So I also want to put out there's a lot of other influences out there. And the one issue I have, and the reason I wanted to do this, is if you see someone highlighting exchanges or trading strategies or bots, you should really pay close attention. Most of these are scams. There's no one out there trying to just get you rich. They're not creating programs, spending a lot of time. And if they are, good on them. They might be. But let's say in the case of a bot, you spend all this time, it becomes super successful. Tons of people start doing it. The market will start counter trading you. Nothing can become that successful. This is a market where players play both sides. If they're trying to get you to an exchange, you have to remember, like most people slowly realize, these exchanges are casinos. If you want to gamble and give them a percentage of your winnings, 100%, that's great. I love gambling. Plenty of the casinos make money off me. I'm fine with that. What it comes down to is, do you know your risks? Is someone trying to put one over on you and make you think it's foolproof? That doesn't exist. Money on an exchange always has the counterparty risk of the centralization of said exchange. Could someone at the exchange run off? Could authorities shut down the exchange? Could your money be in limbo and you only get it back in cash dollars years later? You can go through the list of exchanges and see how many have ended in disaster for people. So one thing I can really recommend with Bitcoin, and we'll go over more of the decentralized programs like decentralized exchanges, I really encourage people to look at the history and why Bitcoin got started, rather than looking at it as a tech stock or some commodity in which to get rich quick. This can be the future for your children, the future for the world. And like some people think, maybe I'm brainwashed and part of a cult. I don't believe so, because I do see that this could totally fail tomorrow. There can be flaws. There can be a system that the system could break down. I don't believe that's going to happen. I believe there's enough safeguards. I believe there's people that have a vested interest. And I believe there's a community. And as long as there's a community that wants to make this work and use it, I believe we should see how the experiment plays out. At least try something new. We've been doing the same debasement of currency and societies centralizing power to the detriment of the people. I believe this could create this new paradigm shift that many people are excited for, but I believe they're seeing it in such short term, or a relatively short term way. So thank you for coming by again. If you liked it, please subscribe, write some questions. Even if you didn't like it, let me know what you hated. With that, we're going to throw back up the QR code and throw up a little music by Laphoba. Sorry. And everyone enjoy.